Hi guys, welcome to your moon in Virgo. Let's do a quick overview before I dive right into the video. Moon represents your emotions, and since all human beings are emotional creatures, it is the strongest placement in your chart. In fact, as you get older, it becomes more prominent and people sense your moon energy more than they sense your sun sign energy. It is the strongest placement. And I do want to give you guys a disclaimer on my channel. I don't do traditional astrology. If you're looking for traditional conventional astrology, just go on cafeastrology.com and read what it says about you. I don't agree with conventional astrology. I think it's not entirely accurate. So I branched out, and my brand of astrology is more based on patterns that I've seen in certain placements over time. And I'm like, hey, it's more empirical knowledge. When you start to see a pattern, like you start to see certain people sharing certain traits, you can look to all their charts and you'll see there's something in common. And those things that I've observed to be in common, I've ascribed them to certain placements. And this is what my channel covers. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Moon placement, moon in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And I do agree with all of that. So Mercury is the sign of communication. When you have Mercury as your ruler, you want to know why for everything. You like to know why things work the way they do, why people do the things they do, why did they say certain things to you, why? Because it's also an analytical sign. Because it's an analytical sign, it thinks. It's a rationalist moon. My personal favorite placement, this is probably, I really like Virgo in the moon because it makes a person rationalize their emotions. I'm a big supporter of people who really think things through before acting on it. So I'm a big promoter of people who rationalize emotions, and Virgo moons do that. All earth moons, well, not so much Taurus moon, I take that back, but Virgo moons and Capricorn moons, they're rationalist, and they do think about their emotions, like, why am I feeling this way? Hold on, let me think this through. Do I want to act on it? I've mentioned this before, that it was probably a Virgo or a Capricorn that came up with that saying, pick your battles. These guys really pick their battles. Now, Virgo moon may be your cup of tea, or it may not be your cup of tea. It will not be a cup of tea of fire moons, because fire moons have no patience. They rush things. No patience, no chill. So fire moons are not gonna like Capricorn or Virgo moon, because these guys really have to think things through, and they may take their sweet time. So fire moons are not gonna like them. But I, as an Aquarius moon, I love Virgo moons, and I will give you all the reasons why you may like a Virgo moon and why you may not like a Virgo moon. So as I mentioned, take their sweet time. So if you're someone who's impatient, you're not gonna like them. You're gonna find them boring. If you're someone who reacts to things quickly and you want someone to talk you out of things or really think things through, then Virgo moon is for you, because Virgo moons do that for themselves, and they'll also do that for you. They're like, hey, are you sure you want to act on this? They're like that. Now, because they're cautious, now being cautious can be a good thing, or being cautious can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because it can just make you way overboard, excessively. It'll make you an overthinker. Now, I'm not a fan of overthinkers, because overthinkers are usually paranoid. Paranoia and overthinking go hand in hand. And what do I mean by that? Virgo moons, because they're a thinker and they rationalize emotions, they're not just any thinker, let's say like an Aquarius moon or a Capricorn moon. They're actually an overthinker. See, the word overthinker comes from the fact that you're overboard, you're excessive. What happens with overthinking is you tend to think way too much and sabotage yourself. Sabotage yourself with opportunities. Sabotage yourself out of a relationship because you're thinking way too much. And sometimes when you're thinking way too much, you are perceiving things that are far from reality. I'll give you a fine example. I have a close friend, Virgo moon, took what was supposed to be a very simple text message, took forever to send that message. You know why? Because, this was so interesting for me because I was sitting right there watching this. Why? And I was baffled because I was like, why is a simple text message taking eons to send? Why? And I mean, I was intrigued by what was happening. I was looking at the thought process. When they were writing this message, what they were thinking was, how is this person going to perceive it? Oh, and if I write this person may get agitated. Or a lot of what goes in Virgo moon's thinking is, how is the other person going to perceive this? Whereas, and I'm going to do a contrast with, say, fire moons. Fire moons don't think that much. The reason fire moons are impulsive is because in their line of thought, when they're acting on their emotions, it doesn't even register with them to think how their actions are going to be perceived or what's going to come out of their action. Virgo moon tends to go overboard. I don't think it's a bad thing to think things through because I like people who think before they do things. I think it's just a little too excessive. They think way too much. Like, there's two extremes here. Fire moons don't think things through at all. Impulsive, one extreme. Then on the other extreme is Virgo moon that will just like kill themselves just thinking like, how's this person going to perceive? And this is why they can be slow. So if you've ever seen a Virgo moon not responding to you right away, it's because they have to think things through before they write. They put effort into their messages, their letters. They really have to think things through. So they're kind of slow because they need time to think things through and work out or execute whatever they're going to be sending out. And this is why I say fire moon is not going to like them, because fire moons wants instant results and Virgo moons can't do that for you. They need time to think things through, a little too much time. So in a way, it's a good thing to have like a Virgo moon partner, because they'll let you, if you're a fire moon, you may not like the fact that they're too slow, but you'll like the fact that they will make you think your actions before, like, I mean, your feelings before you act on them. So it'll help you that way. Now, the bad side to this placement is Virgos are perfectionist. They aim to perfect things. While they're the first to say and acknowledge that I'm not looking for perfection, there's no such thing as perfection. They'll be the first to admit that, but they'll be the last to practice what they're saying. Virgos are looking for perfection. They are. While they'll acknowledge that they're not, that there's no such thing as perfection, and I know not to perfect this. I know I can never perfect this. They can't seem to practice that, what they're preaching. And the reason they can't They can't help themselves. It's their nature. Their nature is to try to perfect things. And they'll keep thinking because nothing is ever good enough. Virgo moon is a taskmaster. Imagine a scourge. Virgo moon is like whipping you in shape, scourging you and saying, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And this is what happens in their mind. They're writing a text message. They're writing a letter to their boss. They're overthinking because Virgo moon is trying to perfect it. But nothing is ever good enough. So then they're constantly like, picture a person who's sitting there writing and then erasing, writing and erasing. And then even after they've written something, they want to go back and, like, if they can recall their message, they'll probably do that. Because they'll always find something wrong with it. So it's not an easy placement to have. I would have to say that I'm very lucky that I don't have any Virgo in me. And I think that anyone who has Virgo in them, if you have one, you lucked out. One is more than enough. If you have 2+ in your personal natal chart, in your personal planets, when I say personal, I mean your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. If you have more than one Virgo in these placements, I feel bad for you. It's not easy being you, because this Virgo is constantly overthinking, always trying to perfect itself. And when it's always trying to perfect itself, nothing is good enough. It brings an innate misery. These people are unhappy. When you have more than 2 Virgos in your personal natal chart, you are not a happy person. And this is the negative side. But we're just talking about Virgo moon, okay? If you have Virgo moon by itself, that's a great placement to have. But if you have, let's say, another Virgo in your personal natal chart, I feel bad for you, because now we've taken that perfectionist energy and it's been amplified, and now nothing is good enough. You're constantly trying to better yourself because, you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough. What you're doing is not good enough. You're always changing things. You're always overthinking. And because you do that with yourself, well, what do you think you're going to do with your partner or your family members? People who you care about, you're going to do that with them as well. Not a lot of people like being dictated to or being told what to do. Virgo's way of showing love is by improving you, making you a better version of yourself. Now, if you are someone who's very proud of the way you are, or you're completely content with the way you are, or you don't feel like you need to change, this is not a placement for you, because just like they're always changing or perfecting themselves, they're going to do that. They're going to do that to you as well. They will project this on you as well. On the partner, on the loved one, on the family member, on the sister, on the brother, on the son. And this is why a lot of times people who have double Virgos in their chart, their relationships fail, because they become a source of nuisance when they're constantly trying to better their partner. Again, I think I digressed and I talked about someone with double Virgo in their chart, because it's not a happy placement, since they're constantly overthinking and, sabotaging themselves and fixing themselves. It's going to project on their partner, and then just a train wreck. Virgo moon by itself, it's a great placement to have, because they'll help you out. I've had my Virgo moon friends like edit my letters, or and I'll give you a fine example, right? Because I appreciate them. I have a lot of Virgo moon friends. In fact, pick Virgo moons when I want to travel. You know, you want to spend 3 hours, 4 hours, you pick. I mean, I picked a Virgo moon. As an Aquarius moon, I picked the Virgo moon. I'll tell you why. I am very forthright in my thought process. I don't really think about how someone's going to perceive it. I don't really care, because I feel like if someone's going to take you, whatever you're saying negatively, they're going to take it negatively. Like, you can say what you're saying in the most positive way. And if somebody is a negative thinker, they're going to perceive it how they want to. You don't control that. So I'm very forthright in my writing style and my speaking style. And I don't think about how my message will be perceived by another person. Virgo moons do think about these things. And so I always get them to proofread my stuff. And professionally speaking, they're a godsend for me, because they'll like proofread it, and they'll edit my stuff and censor me where I need to be censored, rightfully so. So in that way, they can be an asset in your life. If you need someone, if you're impatient or you're blunt, Scorpios, or if you're listening to this, Sagittarius moon, there can be God sent in your life. They'll lessen, your bluntness, or if you're acerbic. Sometimes people have very, they say very vitriolic things. They can soften that for you. Like, don't want to say that, right? So Virgo is all about that perfectionist energy, methodical. Another good thing about Virgo moons is that they can organize you. They will organize your life. A lot of times, if you're a slob, you're disorganized, you're tardy, you are a Virgo's nightmare. However, I don't put it above Virgos to not get with people like that. They can. Depends on if they're evolved or unevolved. If they are, when I say evolved, I mean a mature Virgo moon who's self-aware, knows that they have a tendency to look for projects, then you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go for a person like that. But if you're an unevolved or, say, immature Virgo moon who hasn't really realized that it's to your detriment to get with a person like that, you will get with a person like that because you see that as a project. You want to fix that. It gives you something to fix. And that's ironically also your love style. So Virgo moons will do that. They'll organize people. So that's another plus. So if you need someone to organize your life for you, that's Virgo moon. But like I said, an evolved Virgo moon won't get with you. An unevolved will, and they'll try to fix you up. But if you don't like a mom over your head telling you what to do, or a dad over your head telling you what to do, it may not work out. But if you're open to that sort of dictation or instruction, then yeah, Virgo moon is for you. Now, another thing I want to mention about Virgo moons, and this is my advice to Virgo moons, okay? Overthinkers, guys, you guys are overthinkers. And as I mentioned, this is one of the reasons why Virgo matches so well with Virgo, and it's your opposite sign, is because you guys perceive things that are not necessarily there. You can sabotage yourself, sabotage opportunities, love interests, because you're overthinking. What is this person thinking about me? Sometimes you hide. If, let's say, you've made a mistake because you're embarrassed. I want you Virgo moons to get with a fire moon as an excursion. Because I think fire moons can teach you how to loosen up. Loosen up, chill out, live a little, right? I've seen Virgo moons sabotage themselves. And what I mean by that is, like, they went out on a date, and a Virgo moon was like, oh, you know, this person said something to me. I don't know what they meant. Did they like me? Did they not like me? I think they didn't like me because that's how I'm perceiving their comment. And then they go in their head and then they're like, yeah, but what else did this person did over the night? Oh, they did this. Yeah, but you know, they probably didn't like me. Why else have they not called me? Or, you know, if they liked me, then they would have done this. You see, this is the kind of overthinking that's happening. Like the wheels are turning constantly. And I want to like say to Virgo moons that, I don't know, perhaps don't think so much. It's easier said than done, but loosen up. Maybe communicate, right? Because you guys can also be shy. Because you're cautious, you're also shy. If you're unsure, then ask. This is the advice I give to my Virgo moon friends. Because when they start to overthink, I'm like, no, stop assuming. If you don't know, then ask. And this goes professionally and personally for you guys. If you are unsure about something your boss said to you, ask. Don't be bashful. Go ask them. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You know, because I think Virgo's thinking they're gonna get yelled at. I mean, they're not confrontational, right? So they're also not confrontational, so maybe they dread it for that reason. I've decided I'm not going to make my videos too long. So this is going to be a 21-minute video. So I think I captured all the points in this that I really wanted to talk about for Virgo moons. If I've missed anything, I'm going to put that in the description section. Because the videos just can't be 30 minutes. Like the last couple of videos have been 30 minutes. And I don't exactly enjoy that. I don't think the video should be that long. Anything I missed, I will put that in the description. But these main points are what I wanted to talk about, and they're in the video. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye now.